Have you ever looked at a man and thought, is this real love, or is he just playing the role perfectly? Because let's be honest, some men know exactly what to say, when to say it, and how to act like they care. But deep down, you're left wondering if it's all just a performance. If that sounds familiar, you're not crazy. You're intuitive. Welcome to a space where we don't guess, we decode. Because in this video, we're not going over cliche advice or recycled tips. We're breaking down the 4 most powerful signs that a man truly loves and adores you. These signs go beyond flowers, texts, and date nights. They live in the spaces in between. How he reacts when you're not around, the way he protects your feelings in silence, and the choices he makes without being asked. And listen, sign 2. It's something most women overlook, but it reveals more than any I love you ever could. So if you're tired of overthinking, decoding mixed signals, or constantly asking yourself, does he really care? You're in the right place. Because the truth is, love doesn't whisper, it leaves clues. And today, you're about to see them clearly. Stick with me until the end, because understanding these signs could change the way you see every relationship you've ever been in, and every one you'll ever have. Let's dive in. Let's talk about the first undeniable sign that a man truly loves you. He prioritizes you consistently. Now, this might sound simple, but let me be clear. Consistency is one of the most misunderstood and underrated signs of genuine love. And here's why. Anyone can make you feel special once in a while. A dinner here, a compliment there, a sweet text when it's convenient. But love isn't about occasional effort. It's about reliable presence. A man who truly adores you doesn't make you question your place in his life. You're not an afterthought. You're not squeezed into a gap between work, friends, or his phone. You're part of his actual structure. His plans revolve around you, not the other way around. You see it in his communication. He checks in, not out of obligation, but because he wants to. He wants to know how your day went, what's been on your mind, and how you're feeling emotionally. Even if he's busy, even if he's overwhelmed, he still finds ways to remind you, hey, I see you. I'm here. You matter. When a man is in love, he's not too busy for you. He doesn't ghost you for days and pop back in with excuses. Love makes you a priority, not an option. And here's the difference. Infatuation is loud in the beginning, then fades. Real love is steady. It shows up in the mundane. When he's tired, when life is chaotic, when there's no special occasion, he still makes the effort. He still includes you. He chooses you every single day. And that doesn't always mean grand gestures. Sometimes it's how he texts you when he knows you're nervous about a big meeting. It's when he remembers your sister's birthday, not because he cares about your sister, but because he cares about you. It's how he listens to the stories you've told 3 times already, because he's not listening to the words, he's listening to you. Consistency also shows up when things aren't perfect. When there's conflict, misunderstandings, or emotional distance, a man who truly loves you doesn't retreat, he leans in. He wants to solve the problem, not avoid it. He doesn't disappear when things get uncomfortable. In fact, he works harder to be present, because your peace matters to him just as much as his own. You might even notice it in the way he talks about the future. He says we, not I. He asks about your dreams, not just his own. He plans around your goals, not just to fit you into his world, but to build one with you. Here's the bottom line. If a man wants you in his life, he makes room. If he values you, he shows it. And if he loves you, he proves it. Over and over, in ways that don't ask to be noticed, but still make you feel deeply seen. There is no emotional whiplash, no hot and cold, no guessing game. Because when someone prioritizes you with love and consistency, you don't have to ask where you stand. You just know. And that kind of security, that kind of emotional stability, is the foundation of real, lasting love. So the next time you're unsure about a man's feelings, don't just listen to what he says when he's trying to impress you. Watch what he does when no one's watching. Watch how often he chooses you, when it's easy, when it's hard, when it's inconvenient. Because love isn't proven in the highlights, it's revealed in the everyday. Sign number 2 is one that most women don't even realize they should be looking for, but once you see it, you'll never unsee it. A man who truly loves and adores you will protect your emotions, even when you're not around. Now think about that for a second. Anyone can be kind to your face. Anyone can tell you what you want to hear when you're standing in front of them. But real love reveals itself when you're not in the room. This is about integrity, emotional loyalty. It's how a man speaks about you when you're not there to correct him, when you're not watching, and when there's nothing for him to gain in the moment. That's when his true character and true feelings come out. A man who loves you doesn't just avoid hurting your feelings. He actively guards them, not just from himself, but from others too. If someone makes a joke at your expense or tries to minimize something you care about, he speaks up. If someone is gossiping about you, he shuts it down. He doesn't join in. He doesn't laugh it off. He defends you, not because you told him to, not because it makes him look good, but because he can't stand the thought of you being hurt, even indirectly, even in private conversations, even in passing comments. He's careful with your name. He honors it because to him, your emotional well-being matters. Your reputation matters. The way others perceive you matters. That's love. Quiet, strong, and real. It's also the way he makes decisions when you're not there. He turns down that flirty coworker not because he thinks he'll get caught, but because he respects you and what you have. He avoids situations that might make you uncomfortable, even if you'd never find out. That's emotional protection. That's honor. And it doesn't come from guilt, it comes from love. Sometimes it shows up in the small things, like when he doesn't tell you every harsh thing someone said about you, because he knows it'll only hurt your heart. Or when he carefully filters how he shares stressful information because he knows your mind is already full. He's not lying or hiding, he's protecting. It's the way he holds space for your emotions, even when they don't make sense to him. He doesn't dismiss your sensitivity or tell you you're being too much. He may not always understand your feelings, but he respects them. He cares for them. He protects your emotional safety the way he would protect something fragile and irreplaceable, because to him, that's exactly what it is. Love is not just about the good times. It's about how someone moves through the world in your absence. And a man who deeply loves you carries your heart with him, even when you're not physically present. And here's what makes this so powerful. You don't have to tell him to do this. You don't have to remind him or beg him or wonder. Because when a man is emotionally invested in you, this protection becomes second nature. It's not performative. It's instinctive. He wants to protect what matters to him. And you, your emotions, your peace, all of that matters deeply to him. So if you ever want to know where you stand in a man's heart, don't just look at how he treats you when he's with you. Ask yourself how you feel about the way he treats your heart when he thinks you'll never know. Because the way he protects your emotions when you're not around is one of the purest, most powerful signs that his love isn't just real, it's honest. Sign number 3 might seem small on the surface, but it holds massive emotional weight. He remembers the smallest details. Now you might be thinking, okay, so he remembers my birthday or how I take my coffee. But this goes so much deeper than that, because remembering isn't just about facts, it's about intention. And when a man truly loves and adores you, he listens with the kind of presence that turns ordinary moments into emotional bookmarks. He hears the things you don't even realize you're sharing, those quick side comments, those passing stories, the tiny preferences you didn't expect anyone to catch. And not only does he remember them, he reminds you he remembers, often in the most unexpected and beautiful ways. It's the way he brings you your favorite snack after a long day, not because you asked, but because you casually mentioned last month that it makes you feel better. It's the way he repeats a phrase you once used when describing your childhood, simply because it stuck with him. Or how he avoids playing that one song in the car because you told him it's tied to a painful memory. When a man is in love, he doesn't just listen to respond. He listens to understand you, to get to know your world, to learn what makes you feel seen, safe, and special. Every small detail becomes a thread in the fabric he's weaving around your connection. And here's something really powerful. When he remembers the little things, it means he values not just the version of you that everyone sees, but the one most people miss, the vulnerable version, the quiet thoughts. That this probably isn't important, but kind of moment. He holds on to those things because you matter. Not just the big, bold, social media version of you, but the layered, intricate inner you. The kind of love that remembers your coffee order is sweet, but the kind of love that remembers why you drink it a certain way. That's devotion. And no, he doesn't have a perfect memory. He's human. He might forget to take the trash out or misplace his keys every other day. But somehow, he never forgets the things tied to your heart. That's how you know it's not about his memory, It's about his emotional investment. There's also another layer to this. When he brings up those little things, it shows that he's paying attention when you think no one is. That's what makes it feel so special. Because the world moves fast. People talk fast. But he slows down for you. He makes mental space for you in a mind that's probably full of work, stress, and everyday distractions. And when someone does that, when someone remembers you in your details, it's one of the most tender, underrated expressions of love. Because it says, I see you. I care enough to keep pieces of you with me. And that, my friend, is not something you can fake. So if a man in your life brings up something you forgot you even told him, or does something thoughtful based on a tiny piece of information you shared weeks ago, pause. Don't overlook it. That's not just thoughtfulness. It's emotional depth. It's care on a level that goes beyond the surface. It's love that pays attention. And in a world full of distractions and shallow gestures, someone who remembers the smallest things about you is someone who's holding on to the biggest parts of your heart. This final sign is the one that separates words from action, and infatuation from real love. He shows up when it matters most. Not just when it's convenient, not when things are easy, but when life gets heavy, complicated, or raw, he shows up. And that kind of presence, it's powerful, it's rare, and it's exactly what true love looks like in motion. You see, anyone can be there for the good times, for the laughs, the cute dates, the pictures, the surface level romance. But when a man really loves you, he doesn't disappear when the lights dim. He steps in when others step away. He becomes your safe place when the world stops making sense. This kind of love doesn't wait for a perfect moment. It rises in the hard moments. When you're overwhelmed, when your mental health dips, when life hits you out of nowhere, he's there, not with all the answers, but with presence, with calm, with care. He's the one who calls you after hearing bad news, even if you didn't ask. The one who leaves work early to hold your hand at the doctor's office. The one who picks up when you text, I don't want to talk. I just don't want to be alone. And he comes. Not because it's convenient, not because he feels obligated, but because you matter more than the moment's comfort. There's something deeply healing about someone who stands by you when you're not at your best. When you're emotional, vulnerable, struggling, real love doesn't shrink away from that. It leans in. Because a man who truly loves you doesn't just want to be part of your highlight reel. He wants to be part of your healing. He wants to walk with you through the fire, not just show up when it's already burned out. And sometimes showing up isn't even physical. It's emotional. It's when he listens without rushing you. When he sits in silence with you because he knows you just need space. When he reminds you of your strength without trying to fix you. That is presence. That is emotional intimacy. That is mature, grounded love. It's also about reliability. When he says he'll be there, he is. When he makes a promise, he follows through. When things fall apart, you don't have to wonder if he's going to fade. His love has weight. His word holds value. He becomes someone you can build with, not just someone to hope for. And here's the most beautiful part. Sometimes he shows up without even knowing how much it means. It's the late night grocery run because you forgot something. The random text checking in before your big day. The way he makes sure you got home safe. Every single time. It's not dramatic. It's not always grand, but it's consistent and it's real. So many people talk about love. So few know how to show it when it actually counts. But when a man shows up in your most fragile moments without being asked, without hesitation, that's not just love. That's loyalty. That's partnership. That's someone who's not afraid of your storms. Because he doesn't love the version of you that's always okay. He loves all of you. The soft, the broken, the brave, the tired. And when a man keeps showing up for those parts of you, you know his love isn't temporary, it's true. So now that we've uncovered all these beautiful signs of real love, the kind that's consistent, protective, attentive, and deeply present, there's one more question we have to ask. What do you do when you finally experience this kind of love? How do you respond when a man genuinely shows up for you, listens to you, protects your heart, and sees you in your entirety? Because here's the truth. Sometimes real love feels unfamiliar, especially if you've spent years in situations where you were undervalued, overlooked, or emotionally starved. So when someone finally comes along and loves you right, It can be tempting to self-sabotage, to overthink it, to question their motives, to wait for the other shoe to drop. But real love isn't something you test, it's something you receive, and it starts with trust. Not just trust in him, but trust in yourself. Trust that you're worthy of the love you've always dreamed of. Trust that you don't have to shrink, chase, or prove your value to keep it. Trust that this time, love can be soft, steady, and safe. So how do you respond to real love? First, let it in. Let yourself feel the warmth of someone showing up. Let yourself enjoy the peace of not overthinking. Let go of the habits built in survival mode and step into receptive mode. When he listens, speak. When he supports you, lean in. When he remembers, appreciate it. When he loves you gently, don't flinch. Second, mirror the energy. Not by obligation, but from a place of gratitude. Love isn't about keeping score, but it does thrive in mutual effort. So if he's showing you that kind of emotional presence, show up for him too. Ask about his day, his dreams, his fears. Listen to the little things he shares. Protect his heart the way he protects yours. Third, communicate with care. Real love deserves clarity, not guessing games. If something's on your heart, share it. If something bothers you, talk through it. If something makes you feel loved, say it out loud. Gratitude builds connection. Vulnerability deepens it. And here's a big one. Don't mistake healthy love for boredom. If you've been conditioned to believe love has to be chaotic or full of emotional highs and lows, real love might feel too calm at first. But that calm is exactly what your nervous system has been craving. That calm is safe. That's not lack of passion. It's emotional maturity. Lastly, heal while you love. You don't have to be fully healed to be worthy of love. But when someone offers you the real thing, it becomes a mirror. It shows you where you're still guarded, where you still doubt, where you still feel unworthy. And instead of running from that, let it be an invitation to grow together. Because the best relationships aren't just about romance. They're about transformation. You both get to be seen, held, encouraged, and loved, not despite your flaws, but through them. So if you're blessed enough to find someone who loves you the way we've described in this video, show up for that love. Don't run from it. Don't dim yourself. Don't question it to death. Respond with openness, with softness, with strength. Because real love doesn't demand perfection. It just asks for presence. And when two people show up with that kind of honesty, tenderness, and emotional care, that's not just love. That's the beginning of something extraordinary. If you've made it to this point in the video, I just want to take a moment to speak directly to you. The woman who has loved deeply, perhaps been hurt deeply, and is still holding on to hope that real lasting love exists. And guess what? It does. But the journey back to trusting that truth, that's the hard part. Because when you've been let down, when promises were broken, when your vulnerability was met with silence or manipulation, it leaves marks, not just on your heart, but on your ability to believe again. So these signs we've explored today, they're not just about identifying a good man. They're about reminding you what healthy love should feel like. Peaceful, respectful, steady. Love isn't supposed to be a guessing game or an emotional roller coaster. It's not supposed to leave you anxious, waiting, or proving. Real love, mature love grounds you. It nurtures your spirit. It feels like freedom, not fear. But the beautiful part, you don't have to walk into it perfectly. You don't need to have it all figured out. You're allowed to be healing and still be open. You're allowed to have doubts and still choose to try again. And you're allowed to trust even after disappointment. The truth is, the right person won't rush your trust. They'll earn it, gently, consistently, over time. And the more you begin to experience love that respects your boundaries, honors your emotions, and supports your growth, the easier it becomes to believe and love again. So if you're watching this and thinking, I want this, but I don't know if it'll ever be mine, let me tell you something from the heart. You are not too much. You are not too broken. You are not too late. You are learning, healing, and becoming, and that's more than enough. The love you want isn't found through force. It's found when you start showing up as your full self, unapologetically. When you stop chasing and start receiving. When you believe that you're worthy of a love that's real, not just because of what you give, but because of who you are. So keep your standards high, keep your heart open, and most importantly, keep choosing you, because that energy is magnetic. It draws in the kind of man who's not intimidated by your strength, not overwhelmed by your softness, and not afraid of your past. The kind of man who sees you fully and still chooses you fully. Real love is out there, but the first step to finding it is believing you deserve it. And you do, always.